stories of Ikigai. Are you good at what you do? Do you love what you're doing? Are you serving a need? And do you feel rewarded? In this podcast, you'll hear how others discover their Ikigai with the hope that it'll help you discover yours. Hi, everyone. Happy New Year. This is Stories of Ikigai, and I'm your host, Mika Domingo. I'm delighted to have on the show today one of my favorite people, Lilia Bulgucheva, opera singer and trial attorney. Growing up, music was the passion of the Bulgucheva household, and Lilia began piano lessons at the age of 5. She attended the San Francisco Conservatory of Music. Lilia then continued her lessons with San Francisco Opera Center director Sheri Greenawald, William Vendice and Cesare Curzi. Lilia has sung the roles of Suor Osmina in Suor Angelina with Operafestival di Roma, Despira in a partially staged production of Cosi tutte with the West Coast Opera Works, Giulietta in a partially staged production of Capuletti e Montecchi with the West Coast Opera Works, Rosina in Il Barbiere di Siviglia with Martinez Opera. Lilia was a 2009 finalist in the East Bay Opera League Scholarship Auditions and was a frequent performer at the annual Opera Night at Colombo Club, Oakland. Lilia is also a trial attorney with her own practice located in Danville, California. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Mika. I'm really excited to be here.
I am so excited to have you, and I'm delighted for our listeners and our audience because we have a special treat since this is the new year and we want to welcome the new year. But first, please tell us about what it was like growing up surrounded by music.
Oh gosh, well, my parents never got a chance to play any instruments. And so for them, it was really important that their kids would play all kinds of instruments. So right away, when I was 5 years old, I started piano lessons. My sister played the violin and we would collaborate together often. And I would accompany for my sister at all of her events that she was playing at. And my brother played the cello, he played the guitar. So it was really, we were a really musical family, and every family gathering included a mini performance. And so, yeah, we were just always surrounded by music.
That's awesome. You have your own band at home.
We sure did, yes.
Let's talk about your voice. What a wonderful gift to share with the world. How did you discover your passion for singing?
Well, playing instruments, I just thought that I would always play the piano. And when we moved to the United States, I started taking lessons with Rosina in Fremont. Upstairs, she had a studio, and I heard somebody singing opera. Up until that point, I really wasn't even familiar with that. And I thought, wow, what a beautiful sound. And so I went upstairs, and it turns out that it was Miss Ina, my piano teacher's daughter-in-law, practicing upstairs, and she's a soprano, Rachel Brott. And I thought, wow, what if I took lessons with her? And I asked her, I said, can I please take lessons with you? This is amazing. And at that point, I didn't even know if I can sing opera. And she said, well, what can you sing? And so I auditioned for her, and I sang Hero by Mariah Carey. And she said, okay, well, come back and we'll do lessons. And so turns out, yeah, I did have this ability to sing opera. And right away, I started singing as a soprano. My very first teacher turned out to be Maria Callas, because I started listening a lot to her.
Wow.
And singing along with her. I sang along every single aria that she has ever done. I was singing along with her. That's how I studied. So yeah, that's kind of how I discovered that I could sing.
And you really just enjoyed it. And how could you not? You sang for a professional, and that professional recognize what a gift you have. And that's so encouraging.
Yeah.
And you probably didn't even need lessons to begin with.
Well, I did, because like I said, I had no idea that I could sing. At that point, it sounded wonderful, and I was really intrigued by it, but I had no idea. I think when I sang Hero by Mariah Carey, I didn't even know all the words. It was just, I wasn't really a singer at that point. And I was very timid as a child, and just had no idea that I could actually do this until I started taking lessons.
And it's a good thing you kept up with it. Was there ever a time in your life when you wanted to just focus on your music? And I know when we spoke last, you had told me that you had always wanted to be an attorney, and now you are a trial attorney, but you also still perform. But how did you know which path, if you had to choose? And then I don't think you really had to choose, because you're very fortunate to be able to do both. But at that time, when you discovered this passion, this love for music, and the talent that you have, was there ever a time you wanted to just focus on music instead of the law? Tell us about what that was like.
Sure, yeah. So that's a good question. Since I was 8 years old, I wanted to be an attorney. I had a briefcase for my backpack at school. That's all I ever wanted to do. And so when I discovered that I can sing, and I auditioned at the San Francisco Conservatory at the prep division that they had, and I was accepted right away, I thought, wow, maybe there's something there, something real. And so I certainly wanted to give it my all. I wanted to, but at the same time, I always wanted to be an attorney. So I knew I couldn't really do both. So I still pursued the law degree, full time. But as an aside, I guess I continued doing mini performances here and there. I would sign on to do a few gigs that are local. I continued taking lessons with Sheri Greenawald and Cesare Curzi. By the way, Sheri Greenawald was the first one who discovered that I was a coloratura soprano, because as I was singing along with Maria Callas, I was trying to stick to a certain repertoire. And when I came to San Francisco, and I was sang there, and she said, "You're a coloratura, darling. Let's keep going." And she kept pushing me and pushing me all the way to the F, the high F, and I had no
Wow.
idea to sing it, So it was just, I was discovering new things about my voice that I had no idea about. So and so I kept trying that, but at the same time, I just knew that I couldn't quite do both. You can't possibly practice law and be an opera singer, because being an opera singer requires you to travel all over the world, and it couldn't work. But I found a way to make it work, because I had to. This interesting thing will happen where I will go a few months without performing or without singing, and then you just start feeling this, like, it's the weirdest thing, but it's like this energy that builds up, and you just have to, the only way you can release it is to give a concert. So I would organize concerts here and there for myself, even if I didn't have an opportunity to perform. So you prioritize, I guess. But I find opportunities everywhere. Whenever there's a chance to perform, I will perform.
And I hope you do another performance at the Lesher Center for the Arts in Walnut Creek, so that we can watch, hopefully in 2022, or as soon as possible. I know it's hard to predict these days what restrictions we'll have in place because of COVID. But I know that it's important to continue to do what you absolutely love to do. And it's a gift to the world. How can you not share it?
Well, thank you. Yes, I do. I have this plan to do a Russian repertoire recital, and I've been talking about it for the past year. So it is definitely going to happen next year.
That's fantastic. That's news. We didn't talk about that yet. Yeah, you will have to keep me posted. And before we move on, I do want to, because you talked about your passion for the law as well, and you figured out a way to do both, even though your time is very limited, because you are a trial attorney and it demands a great deal of your time and attention. I want to know if you can share with our listeners how you've used your training and your background in music in the practice of law?
Well, that's a good question. I think in trial, you definitely see it come out more because I'm not nervous before a crowd. I think that helps me a lot. I connect with the jury. I see them as an audience. And, a trial is like putting on a show in a lot of ways. And so I think I use that training to just connect with the jurors and really just understand where they're going to go with the information that's in front of them. I think that's pretty much the only time I think that it actually comes out. But and I can use that training. But the two, it's just, and I think I mentioned this to you last time we spoke, but there's always in every big city that I go to, there's always an opera house, and then there's the courthouse on the other side of it, Los Angeles, San Francisco. So I always find myself at a crossroads. So if I go there, maybe I'll go there during the day, and then I go to the opera house at nighttime, but that's my life. And I always felt like I felt torn all the time, because if I focus a lot on on the trials and my law career, then I find myself gravitating towards the opera life a little bit, and then I'll go there, I'll perform a bit, I'll release that energy, and then I can go on for a few more months without really, kind of thinking about it that much, because you just can't. It's really difficult to try to find that balance where you can do both and still be a mother, and I have other things that I gotta turn my attention to, but those are my two greatest passions in life, and I find a way to make it work the best that I can.
Absolutely. You can go anywhere in the world, really, and be able to do both. Although, if you practice law in a different country, you'll, of course, have to pass the bar. And that's a lot of studying to do. So, your focus is in California. But absolutely, if you can continue to do both and share with us. And speaking of sharing, right, we are so grateful to have you, because I know that you are going to give us share with us some of the pieces that you enjoy.
Yes, I will today. Yes.
And so, would you like to start with a piece?
Sure, yes. So my favorite composer is Vincenzo Bellini. And so I will perform today from La Sonnambula, The Sleepwalker. It's a A non credea mirarti, and I will accompany for myself. So hopefully this sounds good on Zoom. Non credea mirarti
Wow, how do you do that? How are you able to play so well and sing and while sitting? And I know it's so hard to, at least for me, I can't do both.
It's all those years of practicing and performing for all the family and friends that have been through here.
That was absolutely beautiful. And it is one of your favorite, if not your favorite piece.
I would say so. Anything by Bellini, I would say is my favorite. Yeah, it's Italian bel canto. It's just the best for me.
Fantastic. Thank you. And could we hear some more? Is there another piece you can share?
So, because it is hard for me to play a fast piece and sing at the same time, I'm going to share a piece that it's Il Bacio. It's an Italian song about a kiss, how wonderful it is to receive a sweet kiss. And so I will go ahead and share that from a performance that I did at the Colombo Club a few years back.
What was the story there?
In the so the Colombo Club would invite me to sing at their annual opera night. And the man that you see sitting in the back, it was one of my voice teachers at the time, Maestro Cesare Curzi. He's one of the grand tenors from that time. I mean, an incredible voice, incredible opera career. Had so many wonderful stories to tell with Lily Pons and some of my favorite sopranos. He's done it all.
Wow.
And so he would ask me to participate in this Colombo Club opera night that he put together at the Italian Club in Oakland. And that's one of the performances I look forward to a lot. because it gave me an opportunity to perform every I think it was April or May. So I knew that that would be an opportunity to put out something new that I had been working on. And I look forward to those performances very much.
Will you be doing a performance there this year in
No,
2020?
I haven't done them in a couple of years. And, with COVID, it really kind of just, I don't know, everything has changed. So, but I have been grateful to have some more opportunities like performing, for the California Women Lawyers Association and the Contra Costa County Bar Association. I did a couple of those Zoom performances, and that was really, really nice.
Absolutely. Everybody loved the performance, and to this day they still talk about it. In fact, one of my good friends and colleagues who served on the board, she told us a story, Jessica Rose, she told us a story about her daughter who was there when you performed for us live with California Women Lawyers. And she walked in and she sat and she was just so immersed in the music, and she kept asking her mom, Jess, to talk to her about opera. That was the first time that she was exposed to that kind of music. And so now you have somebody who's, I think she's, I don't know, maybe less than 6 years old, who has developed this interest in opera. It's wonderful.
That's amazing. Wow, that's really, really nice to hear. I wish I had been exposed to it at an earlier age because, but who knows? I mean, like I said, I was very timid, and I don't know if I would have tried singing. The first time I started singing opera I was 14 years old. So that definitely, I learned to appreciate it.
Good thing you went upstairs, right? Or you heard that lady upstairs.
Oh, Rachel she had an amazing voice. And so when I heard her sing, I couldn't believe it. She sounded like a bird upstairs, just.
Wow. Absolutely amazing. And if we do have some time, if you would like to share, and I would absolutely love it if you'd like to share another piece for us.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. So this one is O mio bambino caro.
Oh, I love this one. I'm so glad.
Yes. I think it has to be worked into a program if possible.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
So I will sing that for you. And this is my vocal coach, Bill Vendice, on the piano. I had him pre-record the accompaniment for us. Oh mio bambino caro, mi piace bello, andare in porta rossa a comperar l'anello. Sì, sì, ci voglio andare. E se l'amassa intorno, andrai sul ponte vecchio, ma per buttarmi in arno, mi strano e mi tormento,
I loved it. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm so glad you chose that piece, because I remember when you did so for California women lawyers, we were just so immersed in your music. And we thought, wouldn't it be wonderful to have Lilia come and perform live at some point? I know there will be future opportunities. So you can rely on me to give you a call, and when we can have performances and we can incorporate it, into a dinner or into a conference, it would be such an amazing experience for other attorneys, to have that kind of experience, because oftentimes we attend conferences and dinners, and most of the time we have speeches. And nothing wrong with speeches. A lot of times they're very inspiring, but to incorporate music, I think it's also very important. And as we welcome the new year, I would like to give you an opportunity to share a few words to our listeners.
Well, thank you, Mika. Well, I think hopefully my story will just kind of support this idea that you really can achieve anything that you set your mind to. The times can be hard, and stories change, and plans change, but I think it's really important to just keep on striving to achieve what you really want to achieve. When there's a will, there's a way. That's kind of what I always tell myself, and I sometimes have to prioritize and figure out. But I think that as long as we all just keep on having faith that things will all ultimately work out. It's really hard with COVID, and everything is changed so much as far as what I thought I would be doing in the last 2 years. But I really have been striving to just stay positive, keep on working hard, and just looking forward to the future. And I really hope that I get to do those live performances. I've been planning. I've already told everyone about this Russian repertoire concert that will definitely be happening next year, and I just hope that I get to do it.
And where will this take place?
This will be in Walnut Creek, and I think maybe this time I'll do it in a more intimate setting. I think with Russian music and just the way that I'm visualizing, maybe there's a church that will allow me to use that beautiful space and create beautiful music with some of my friends from the opera world.
That will be absolutely wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Stories of Ikigai is brought to you by MS Domingo Law Group.